Hello, Crown Lexus. My name is Tsukasak of GX Chief Engineer.
The first question I'd like to ask you about is the evolution of the design language. Can you talk about the new boxy design language and the simplification of the grille?
So first off, we decided to design this as the true authentic off-roader from Lexus, where all other vehicles in the lineup will use as a reference point. And so using the proportions where you can tell right away that it's a true, genuine off-roader with big flared fenders and the A-pillar, which has been pushed back and lifted upwards, and our elongated vertical side view mirrors. And we did this so that you have better vision of the ground surface while you're driving. And we also lowered the drop the belt line. And so going back to the front, we put a very short overhang on the front of the vehicle. And as you can tell, the corner hang right here is very small, so that it makes the car very maneuverable. So this spindle body has been designed exclusively geared for off-road use. Mm-hmm. So the sub-radiators for the twin-turbo system lie behind these slits. And so we have the center protection piece right here, which protects you from different kinds of bush and shrubs and other obstacles while you're driving off-road. And we've positioned the headlights as high as possible to protect it from anything potentially hitting it. And you can especially tell compared to the other outgoing model. And not just design alone, it has a very functional, a specific functional purpose, and that's why we call it the functional spindle body grille.
Can you talk about the decision to go from a naturally aspirated V8 to a twin-turbo V6?
Yeah. So power, quietness, and fuel economy. We were able to achieve all three at the same time at a very high level by switching to this engine.
And obviously the transmission is another major upgrade. They had mentioned in our product briefing that this one was related to the transmission in the LC 500.
So I think if you're looking at the overall design of it being the 10-speed automatic transmission, it is similar, but obviously it has been tuned drastically to match its specific purposes, off-roading purposes.
So how has the adaptive variable suspension evolved between the two generations?
So the ABS system uses improved solenoid valves to have much more precise and fast movement to adjust the compression for the dampers.
And can you talk about the evolution of the E-KDSS system over the old school KDSS?
So on the current model, the KDSS system, the front and the rear are linked together. But switching to an electronically controlled system allows us to linearly control the front and the rear independently. When you're off-roading, obviously the stabilizer becomes decoupled. You can decouple that. But what we've done now with the electronically controlled system is we've taken steering angle as well as vehicle speed and lateral G's into account. And we take that input and then electronic control when to actually activate the E-KDSS system. And another advantage of making the front and the rear independently controlled is on the linked one, the front and the rear on the former system, if anything happened to one of the tires, it would adversely affect the opposite tire and wheel, but we've been able to cure that by making the systems independent, or the front and rear independent.
During our presentation earlier, they mentioned that the settings of the disconnect were infinite. How does that work in practice versus all the way off and all the way on?
Off-road, it's completely disconnected. And then for on-road applications, just like we said, we took those three elements, the steering angle, vehicle speed, and lateral G's into account, and then it adjusts accordingly.
What type of scenarios on-road would this system activate? Like lots of potholes or snow?
On-road, once again, it's trying to look at the road surface, but using those three inputs and trying to find the optimum, ideal setup of operation.
Okay, great. All right, moving on to the interior of the vehicle, you guys. We're inside an Overtrail Plus to ask a few more questions. I'd like to first talk about, well, I guess the two questions about the seats. It seems like in every grade, the material is a little bit harder or rougher on the bolsters, and I was just curious if that was to be more rugged against wear and tear, or how that kind of works versus the soft.
So synthetic leather? Yes, yeah, for better durability, yes.
Yes, okay, so that's across the board. And then how do the Overtrail seats differ from the premium and luxury seats?
まずこのシートのクッションが
The seat cushion?
少し硬い工夫をすることで
And making it a little bit firmer.
腰が動かないようにしてい
It
ます。
keeps your hips in place a little bit more.
で先ほども言ったようにここを
And
少し
also,
柔
as
ら
we
かくする
mentioned,
こと
we
で
made it softer to minimize head toss.
Gotcha, so the cushion is harder and the bolsters are softer and bigger.
Yes.
マテリアルは少しここ見ても分かる通りバイオウルトラスウェードという
So
のを
we're
使っ
using
て
the
ます。
Bio Ultra Suede
Yep.
material as well here.
Other question, in terms of the driving vantage is amazing. It's so clear and visible. Can you talk about how you designed the outside views for the driver for on and off road?
まあデザインでいうとこの A ピラーを立てて、
So
引
we
い
first
たことで視認性が良くなって
we pulled back the A pillar and lifted, made it more straight up, vertical, so to improve visibility.
そしてこの低く構えたベルトラインによって
And you can see this low belt line right here.
オフロードの時の
So what during
サイドの視認
off-roading,
性
you can see easily out to the side. And so by making the side view mirrors more vertical shaped, you can see the ground better. And also by having them door mounted and not on the pillar, we've increased visibility through that portion right there too. And also it's sort of a combination of the lower belt line with the extended lower portion of the vertical side view mirror that increases excellent side view visibility.
あとこの14インチのディスプレイ
And this 14-inch display here, monitor,
のインパネのこの
and the
上面
instrument
を
panel
スラに
is completely
水
flat
平に合わ
and
せることで
it's all even and flat.
オフロードした時の車
So
の
what
視
that
線の
allows you to
変
do
化
is it allows you
わかりやすいよう
to
に
understand
してます
the vehicle position while you're off-roading.
だからここに角度計出ま
And
す
we
けど
will have an angle display there, but sometimes when you're concentrating on driving, you'll know how much the car is at an angle just by looking straight out the front windshield.
Oh, wow. And did that come into the design as well by adding this kind of shorter section in the front of the hood?
Yes,
Substantially larger the indentation on the hood compared to the outgoing model for improved visibility.
あとコーナーのところですね
And the corners of the front
この範
front
囲を
fenders,
短くすることで
and we made the corner overhangs shorter and smaller.
車をこう取り回しした時の四隅の見切りの良さを実現しています
It improves maneuverability and also visibility as well when you're making tight corners.
Do you mind starting the vehicle so that we could talk about the various drive modes and MTS modes?
So as you can see, all the driving functions are laid out right close to the driver so that he or she can focus purely on driving.
例えばこのモードセレクトスイッチ
Like the mode select switch,
MTS ダックコントロール
MTS
このスイッチ
DAC control,
Yeah.
and the high-low modes have been all zoned very close to the driver, so you really can concentrate on while you're driving. So we actually included the influence from pro rally drivers at a very early stage of development, so that we could make sure that even the design placement was based off of functionality.
Is the adaptive variable suspension in the Overtrail, is it tuned differently from the Luxury Plus?
It's more whether you
Normal
have
ABS.
or don't have ABS. Slightly different settings, yes, correct.
Gotcha. And what were you trying to achieve with each of the three ABS modes?
So obviously we've changed it. We've offered 3 different settings: normal, comfort, and sport. Over comfort, normal prioritizes ride comfort and ride quality. And then from there, moving to sports improves throttle response. And then sports plus is also ABS.
Oh,
ABS
okay.
and EPS か
And EPS power steering differences.
Oh, so in sport mode it's only throttle, and then you only get the firmer with Sport
ス
Plus.
ポーツもスロットルは入れてます
How much of an upgrade is the 21 speaker sound system over the standard 10 speaker sound system?
So obviously we're going from 10 to 21 speakers, so you're already going to feel that obvious benefit. But perhaps the differentiator would be the larger subwoofer in the back, which would bring a much richer, deeper sound to the system.
Gotcha. And that system is that available on Overtrail Plus or just Luxury Plus? And
Overtrail Plus に
オーバートレイルプラスにマーク・レビンソン
Yes.
になる
Okay, so both Overtrail Plus and Luxury
Overtrail
Plus.
Luxury Plus. Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. Excellent. Great. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Club Lexus. Please enjoy the new GX.